Hey everyone, so in today's video we're going to be looking at how to compare and contrast. Now you're not going to have to worry about taking any notes in our video today. You're just following along as I go through this because I feel compare and contrast is relatively well known by a lot of us. It's just kind of a review, but there will be some practices as we go through and then a quizzes at the end before you take your mastery check. So looking at comparing, this is to look at two or more things to notice the similarities between them. So just with compare, remember the word similar. It's like being a detective looking for clues that show how things are alike. So similar, alike, remember those words when coming to comparing. Contrasting is the opposite. So this is to look at two or more things to notice the differences between them. So how they are different or how they are opposite. Now, fun fact, we compare and contrast all the time. Which shoes are we going to wear today? Which brand of cereal are we going to purchase? Which sports team to pull for in the big game? So a lot of us right now when it comes to the NFL are looking at the playoffs and which team are we going to root for, right? That's still comparing and contrasting unless it's your favorite team. Which makeup to buy at Sephora, what brand of water bottle to carry. And that's not even just like a plastic water bottle. That's even something along the lines of, a Yeti versus a Hydro Flask versus a Stanley, what have you. So this is our first part where we're going to practice. This is where it's let's try. So ask yourself right here. I'll flip to the Google Doc this time. Right here. Let's explore quick write. When did you have to compare and contrast something in your everyday life? What did you look at to help you make that final decision? Now, also within this, right, we're going to just real quick, why does it matter? And then you're going to go right into another practice. So I'm not going to flip back on this next one, but it's coming up right here. So just take a minute to answer these two questions, 1 and 2, and then we're going to jump right back into the notes. So after this, right? Ooh, I don't want the video. Nope. Okay. So why does it matter? So comparing and contrasting is like unlocking a superpower that helps you understand the world better. This process trains your brain to sort out. Come on, bring my video back up. Why is my video not coming back up? There it goes. And understand new information like a pro. It's not just about noticing how things are alike or different. It's about really exploring and understanding lots of different ideas. Each time you compare and contrast, you're giving your brain a workout, making it smarter and more prepared to tackle new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, let's look at this question. Which of the following contrasts, key question here, you got to look at what it's asking, contrast the operating systems of iPhone and Android phones. So when we say contrast, which of these four is showing us the differences? Right? How they are not alike. So iPhones use iOS for a uniform controlled app environment, while Android phones feature an open OS allowing for more customization and diverse options. iPhone and Android phones are primarily controlled through touchscreen interfaces and offer voice-activated assistants such as Siri for iPhone and Google Assistant for Android. Both iPhone and Android phones offer access to a vast array of apps through their respective app stores, enabling users to download and use millions of applications for various purposes. Or iPhone and Android devices support 4G and 5G cellular networks, allowing for high-speed internet access and streaming capabilities. So if we all chose A, then you are correct, right? Like right here, I'm looking at two different operating systems, right? iPhone uses iOS for a uniform controlled app environment. Android phones features an open OS allowing for more customization. These are talking about differences. This is talking about their touchscreens are the same, voice activation are the same, just different names. This is talking about how they both have apps, and this is talking about the networks that they use. This is the only one that shows something different. Now moving on, which of the following highlights a similarity between Nike and Adidas? Right? Similarity. So how are they the same? So A, when compared to Adidas, Nike earns more in revenue per year, but over the course of the last couple of years, Adidas is closing the gap. Adidas has more products on the market, 1,847, compared to Nike, which has 773. Nike places a strong emphasis on the intersection of art, science, and technology, whereas Adidas prioritizes functionality and performance while incorporating aesthetically pleasing designs. That was a mouthful. Or Nike and Adidas have both launched initiatives aimed at reducing their environmental impact, such as using recycled materials in their sneakers and apparel. So looking at these four, which is showing similarities, hopefully we chose the one that talks about both, which is D. So hopefully you're starting to see a difference here. Like there's going to be kind of signal words or keywords that kind of show us whether it's similar or whether it's different. And here we are both talking about that. So that's where our similarity would come into play. Now, many people mix up comments read the paragraph and answer the question. So many people mix up comets, asteroids, and meteors because they are all space objects that orbit the sun. Comets, asteroids, and meteors are all celestial bodies found in our solar system. However, comets are icy bodies that develop tails when they approach the sun. Asteroids are rocky objects mostly found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and meteors are the streaks of light we see in the sky when debris from comets or asteroids enters the Earth's atmosphere and burns up. The most famous comet is Halley's Comet, which is visible from Earth every 76 years. So in the passage above, what is the purpose of the sentence, comets, asteroids, and meteors are all celestial bodies found in our solar system? Does it A, contrast comets, asteroids, and meteors? Does it B, provide an example of how comets, asteroids, and meteors are similar? Does it C, explain why comets are more significant than asteroids and meteors? Or does it D, give an example of a specific comet? Well, it definitely is a D, right? So let's look at these other three. Comets, asteroids, and meteors are all celestial bodies found in our solar system. The keyword I would look in here is all. What is this all showing us? Cool. So hopefully we're all picked B here. It provides an example of how comets, asteroids, and meteors are similar. And then our last question here, read the paragraph and answer the question. So the paragraphs and answer the question. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have to pause my video to read these two paragraphs because I can't read these two paragraphs and still get this video in time. So pause the video, read these two paragraphs, and I'll kind of give it a breather before I go into the questions here. But according to the text above, the printing press and the internet are similar because they both were invented in the 15th century. Hopefully we don't pick A here. They both originated as tools for military use. They both significantly increased access to information, or they are both used primarily for educational purposes, right? I would have probably narrowed it down to C or D immediately, even without reading these passages and knowing what I know. What would we choose? We would choose C. They both have significantly increased access to information. So how to compare and contrast? I think we got the idea, but just in case, analyze what you're examining. So from the text, select or identify two or more things to compare and contrast. Identify why you are comparing these two items. To understand a subject better, to make a decision, to develop arguments, to evaluate sources. These are all things that you're going to use outside of English class, outside of school, to be honest with you, because you do it all the time. You use these things. It's a skill that you use. We're just now applying it to reading. So highlight or list the major problems or points or ideas presented in the text. Stay focused. Keep your eyes peeled for details that are all about the main thing you are comparing. It's not about the main topic. Skip that. For example, finding out a scientist has a YouTube channel where they talk about science experiments might be cool, but it doesn't help us compare their views on pollution. And then the last one is just choosing which of the right graphic organizers works best for you. Do you want to use a Venn diagram or a T-chart? I prefer Venn diagrams, but some people like T-charts. They both work. So finally, you're going to watch this clip, you're going to read this article, and then you're going to answer some questions on the two of them. Now, here, we'll go back to the notes that this page, you should be all the way down here, right, where you read the paragraph. So, sorry, all the way here where you watch the clip, tell me what the topic of the clip is, then you read the short article and determine the topic of that short article, and then you compare and contrast. Now, you're not going to compare and contrast on here, you're going to compare and contrast right here, and you're going to choose one of these two slides. Okay, that's why in the notes section or in the explanation of this assignment, it talks about that. It talks about it right here. There are two attached documents. Please make sure you have both of them open. Now, following this, you will complete the quizzes. Please complete the quizzes until you get a 100%, and then you are ready to take the mastery check. Here is the quizzes linked. Here are the notes that we just went through linked if you need to go back and look them over. As always, if you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, but please make sure that all of this page is completed. Most of it was completed for you. You are just highlighting and then filling in a couple of things here and there, and then you want to fill in this, right, where you're talking about the two separate things. They're about a similar topic, but they are separate. One is a video and one is an article. As always, thanks for watching, everyone.